Hi, Chef Raphael here, and welcome to another episode of Cooking with Chef Raphael. I'm going to show you how to make delicious Ndengu Samosas. You probably didn't think that you can actually make samosas, vegetarian samosas. Here I'm using Ndengu. I'm using Kompia Ndengu, and they are really simple to make. On this video, I've showed you how to make the filling itself, now the mixture with the Ndengu. And also how to make the pastry, including how to fold, how to make it easy. I've done a previous video of making the pastry samosa, and you can watch it. I'll put it in the description. But if you go to the samosa itself, if I could just take a bite. Nice and crispy. You think that it's boring samosa, but I said I have cumin seeds. That I think is my secret ingredient in this. Watch how simple it is to make. And remember, with Kopia is maisha rahisi. Kushop bila kusafiri, bei poa, bidhaa bora. Welcome to the video. So welcome to the show. Now this video is brought to you by Kopia Maisha Rahisi. Now it's all about shopping without traveling, kushop bila kusafiri. And when it comes to kopia.co.ke, or you can also get the items on the app, it's actually like a shopping mall. You shop, like even some of the ingredients that I'm using, apart from the grains, today's ingredient is Kopia Ndengu. Whether it's the flour, whether it's the salt, whether it's the cooking oil, you can find it all on kopia.co.ke. And I have a discount code. Check it on the description and use that discount code when you're shopping on the website, the kopia.co.ke website, and you redeem that coupon to get a discount. So for today's recipe, the Ndengu samosa. Now, I love this recipe because this is an alternative to the meat samosa that we all know and love. This is really tasty. So the first thing that I did is I cooked the Kopia Ndengu. And when cooking Ndengu, it's always a good idea to soak the Ndengu first. And one tip I can give you is remove the dirt that will float. Anything that floats whenever you soak any bean, or like in this case, the Ndengu, anything that will float, just remove it, because that means it's not good. It can either be the husks or anything else. But even if it's a grain, if it's floating, probably it will not cook well. So just throw it. So after soaking, you will cook. It will actually take a shorter time when you cook it after soaking. So now when it comes to cooking the Ndengu for making the samosa, the first thing I want to do is to I've cut already my ingredients. It's the onion, the potatoes, and the pre-cooked Ndengu that is cold. The first thing you want to do is to fry the onion slightly. And then, because I'm having raw potatoes, I'll actually add the raw potatoes to cook together with the onions. So you want the onions to cook until they are soft, but add in the potatoes and let them cook together. You can actually boil the potatoes on the side and then just add them when they're already boiled, but you can still cook them together with the onion. When cooking with onion, the most important thing you just need to keep an eye on is don't let them dry up. When it starts sticking to the sufuria, and it will because of the potato, add a little bit of water after the potatoes are fried slightly for about a minute or 2 minutes. So you just cover the pot, let it continue simmering with a little bit of water. In case the water runs out, add a little bit of water, and you keep stirring until the potatoes are fully cooked, or basically they are soft. You can add, I also added a little bit of cumin seeds. I almost forgot. The cumin seeds will help in the flavor. You can add other spices. I don't know which other spices you may have, but my secret ingredient whenever I'm making samosa is the cumin seeds. They make a big difference when it comes to the flavor. After the potatoes is cooked, I'll add the ndengu that is already cooked. Mix it with the potatoes, add a little bit of water as well so that the ndengu will actually become hot, and stir, and then start mashing slightly so that the whole point of the potato in this recipe is to give a nice thick mixture, and so that it actually sticks together. When you mash just the ndengu, you can still do that, but adding a little bit of potato will help it bulk it up. And then when it's a little bit smashed, the last thing you only need to do is make sure the seasoning is correct, a little bit of salt or even and pepper, and add the dhania, and then stir. Turn off the heat, it's ready. Just make sure that you like the taste. So if you like the taste, then that's it. If you like a little bit of chili, you can always add a little bit of chili. So when it comes to making the pastry for the samosa, I've actually done a separate recipe for samosas. I'll probably put it in the description of this video, in terms of so that you can actually click on it to see how I made the samosa pocket. But I have actually made it on this video, and what I did is made the pastry. When you're making the pastry, is just knead the dough, the same dough that you need for chapati. And then when the dough is ready, it's rested, make the small balls from the dough and then roll it until it's a thin layer of pastry. Very thin, but not, be careful not to tear it, because you want it as thin as possible but still intact. So after doing that for about 1 or 2 of them, each round, one big round, will actually cook 4 portions of samosa. You can choose how many samosas you want depending on the amount of mixture that you have made. So you have to cook it slightly so that it actually becomes easier to work with. So that's the most important thing when making the pastry. When you're cooking it, it just takes a hot pan on for about 30 seconds on both sides, and then put it aside, cut it into, trim it using a plate so that you have a nice round shape. This helps in just basically making them look good, and then cut them into 4s, and then you have the pockets. So what is now left is to show you how to make the pockets, and also now to fill the samosa filling into the pockets, and then I'll also show you how to fry them. So this is the main setup that you need whenever you're doing the pockets. You need them equal sized of the pastry pocket. Basically, you have the glue, which is basically a mixture of water and all-purpose flour until it's a nice thick mixture, and then the cooled down samosa filling. So this is basically should be cold when you are doing it. Looks good. I've tasted it, tastes good. Now to make the pockets, you start with your triangle like that, fold it until it's halfway of this curved side, and then take the other side and also fold it until it's the other half, and then you have your pocket. So it's always a good idea, just basically approximately halfway, and then take your glue. So what I usually like doing is applying on this one end instead of applying on the whole side like here. The edge is what is most important, and then bring the other side like that. Now on the inside, you do not want it to overlap too much, whereby it will fold. When it comes to the hole, so this is a big debate that usually people wonder. A small hole, no big deal, so long as nothing of the mixture, or whether you're using the meat or in this case ndengu, so long as it can't come out, it's not a bad idea to have a small hole, because even after it's cooked, you need somewhere for the excess oil to drain off from. So long as it's a small hole, that's good. So let me do it again. Curved side, fold approximately half, take your glue, apply it on the edge, this side. No need to apply on this side, and then align the end like that. So the amount of glue should also not be a lot. If it's too much, it will take time before it sticks. Check on the inside that it's a nice pocket, and there you have it. So when it comes now to filling the mixture. It's a good idea to use a teaspoon, especially for this side of a pocket. So push it inside, not too much. What I'm doing is that, and also press so that it goes till the end, like that. And then you want this side, this flap, to be on top like that, because this will actually cover. Press it on one end, and then small amount of the glue. Again, for me, I prefer just adding on the edge, this, not the whole piece, just a small piece like that, and then press it and let it stick. Now when it comes to these edges, all you need to do is to press the mixture, pull it, then just try and, so on this part I'll add a small amount of glue, let it stick. We have our samosa pocket. So I'll do the rest of that for this all mixture, and then the next thing will be to deep fry. So now we are deep frying. The first thing we want to make sure is that the oil is hot enough. How do you know the oil is hot? So one way is by placing a wooden spoon like that. So if it starts bubbling gently, then it's hot enough, like that. So that's a good temperature. That's one way of looking at it. Another way I actually use, what I usually do is put a 1 drop of water and listen for that. So if it reacts like that, exactly the way it has reacted, not too loud, like psh. If it's too loud, that means the oil is too hot. So this is perfect. Another way you can check that the oil is hot enough is just start by cooking one piece. So what will happen? It will go inside, meaning it will sink, and then when it starts bubbling like that, it's also an indication that the oil is hot enough. So I'll place a few pieces. If you place too many, then the oil is hot. It will also reduce the temperature of the oil. So also check on that. Now in case it cooks too fast, that means again it's too hot. If it also takes a longer time to brown, that means it's also it's not hot enough. So now we're waiting for them to start floating, and then I'll flip them, and then when it's ready, I will put them in a bowl like this with a paper towel to soak up the excess oil. So now they are ready, nice and crispy, golden brown. Now let me mention about this, still hot. Now this is the bad side of having a big hole, and this can easily happen. So when the hole is big, the biggest problem is that the whatever mixture you have may come out. Okay, this for me is not a big deal, but sometimes when this is what you need to avoid. But what will happen if the hole is too big? It will actually make the oil become dirty. So that's what you want to avoid as much as possible. But what I said earlier, a small hole like this one, it's okay because the excess oil will actually drain out of the samosa, and now all that is left is to serve. So now the samosas are ready. Now, some people usually say that the pastry should not have bubbles. To be honest, for me, it really doesn't matter about the pastry so long as it's nice and crispy. These small dimples or bubbles, for me, I actually like that look. So if you prefer not to, I believe there's a way of doing it without that. But what matters is the fact that the ndengu, right now they are a little bit hot. But what I know is the mixture was tasty before I put it in. The pastry is nice and crispy. I hope you've learned something new. Let me know in the comment section when you try yours, how yours turn out, or what other ingredients you'll use whenever you're making samosa. Remember, we've been using the Kopia Ndengu by Kopia, Kopia Maisha Rahisi.